Welcome to my home gym. I have gotten a ton of questions about my home gym, what I have, where did I get my equipment, why did I choose what I have. So I wanted to take you on a little tour today of my gym space. I want to show you all the equipment I got, why I got it, and where I got it, and just walk you through what I have. You all know, like, this past year has been crazy for working out, right? It is one of those things where, gyms close down and everyone's now working out from home. Everyone's trying to get equipment for their home gym. And if you've tried to order equipment within the last year, you know it has not always been easy getting certain pieces of equipment delivered to you. The delivery time is months and months and months. Home gyms have exploded in popularity as a result of this pandemic, right? That can be a good thing because I think more people now are probably working out regularly as a result of having stuff at home. Home gyms can look very different. There are some people out there that, and many of my friends have these elaborate home gyms because they have the space. They have big squat racks, bars and plates, and even cable machines. I don't have that kind of space here. I don't. And a lot of people have even less space than I do. But that doesn't mean that you can't get equipment to suit your space and suit your training needs. There's something out there for everybody. So I want to show you what I have. I feel like I am not just dumbbells only, but I'm not an elaborate setup either. I'm kind of in the middle, and I do have a decent amount of space to put some stuff in here in this room. This room in general, if we back up just for a second, this room is part of an addition. We blew out the back of our house and built this addition. The main purpose was the upstairs master bedroom. We completely added more space there, and because that's upstairs, we actually had to have a space downstairs as well, and this room became that space. This room was intended as a family room. We had chairs, TV in here, and it never got much use because we have kind of the same thing around the corner here. So I started bringing in little bits and pieces of equipment, and that's kind of where it started. That's why you'll see as you go through this tour with me, there's still carpeting on the floor here, which is not the best idea for a home gym, but that's where this room was with carpeting. It's gotten stained and kind of trashed at this point, which is fine. We're deciding to keep it here for now, and eventually we'll probably strip some of this out and just put rubber flooring on underneath. But this is really not bad. It's not squishy carpeting. It's really low to the ground, so it's not super bad from a stability standpoint. So that's why we have carpeting. Not the best scenario, but good enough for this, without a doubt. One of the first things I got was this dumbbell rack. This rack came off of Amazon. You can just Google dumbbell rack and you're gonna see a bunch of them and something similar to this one. They were not expensive at all, so that's why I got it. It would fit well up against most any wall in this room. But if you look at the dumbbells, it's a mishmash, right? I don't have this nice, neat little set of dumbbells. These dumbbells came from everywhere. These black coated dumbbells came from Power Systems, and normally this kind of coated dumbbell with the plastic coating is not great for like a gym setting where dumbbells are gonna get used a ton and people are gonna be really tough on them. But for a home gym, this is fine. A lot of times people say the plastic starts to rip open. Mine hasn't. But if it were used in the gym, it probably would. This pair evidently came from Reebok. I have no idea. I don't even remember getting this pair. This pair, the red pair, came from, it came with my bike actually, which is the most recent addition to this gym, and I'll talk about that in a moment. The rest of the dumbbells were either given to me or I bought, like at Walmart or something. And so that's why they all look a little different, and I go up to 30 pounds. What I found very quickly was I outgrew 30 pounds early on, and 30 pounds was not going to be enough weight for dumbbells, especially when my gym shut down and I had to work out from home. So that's when I decided to get these. These are my Bowflex adjustable dumbbells. I love these as much as anything else in this gym, and I want to walk you through why I like these Bowflex so much. Bowflex, as you can see, they don't take up much space at all. They go from 5 to 52.5 pounds. So the range is enormous and is really more than enough for what I would want to use them for. But the thing I like about Bowflex the most is the dial. You literally dial up the weight that you want to pick up. You do it on both sides. So I dialed up 10 pounds, I pick it up, and this is a 10-pound dumbbell, okay? Super easy. And that was the biggest reason why I wanted to get the Bowflex. And then you just turn the dial to whatever number you want to do. When you do it all the way to 52.5, you're literally lifting up the whole thing. So you just need to be prepared for that one. But these have been great. You can also buy a stand for these so they sit up higher. We just opted not to do it. My husband might make one for me at some point to get them off the floor, but really they take up no space. This would be all the weight you would ever need. You wouldn't need all this. You would just need these, okay? And I think adjustable dumbbells, whether they're these or the Power Blocks or whatever brand you want, any of them is well worth getting. And if I were to say one thing that I think everyone should have in their home gym is either a pair of these, pair of Power Blocks, an adjustable pair of dumbbells. It's going to save you on space. They're versatile for everything. You can use them for everything, literally everything you want to do. So this would be my #1 priority, is getting some kind of adjustable dumbbell for your home gym. So if you notice here on the edges of my rack, I have bands. I have a bunch of bands with handles here, and over here I have all my bands that do not have handles. So bands are another thing that I would recommend you get. I love having both options, with handles and without. With handles, you can do a lot of arm things, obviously. You can do band pull-aparts easy because you've got the handles to grip on. You could do rows with them, all kinds of things. The ones without bands I like to use for chin-ups outside on my chin-up bar. You can use them to add resistance to other things. You can also use them for band pull-aparts and things, curls and things like that as well. But having bands and varying thicknesses of bands, and I think this is what's super important. I have a super thick green band, which is going to assist a lot. I have a medium thick purple band. I have a thinner red band. I even have one that's a little thicker than that, that's black, that's upstairs in my gym bag. And then I have a super thin yellow one. So you have a wide variety of bands. And when you're talking chin-ups specifically, having the wide variety is a great way to progress your chin-up. Start with the thickest band, it's going to be the most assistance, and work your way down to the thinnest band, which is the least amount of assistance. Bands are cheap. You can get them on Amazon. You can get them anywhere. Okay, so let's talk about my squat rack that I have. This squat rack is from a company called TDS. I actually found it on Craigslist. A guy was a distributor for this company, so I worked with him directly. Very inexpensive, a couple $100 I think for this at tops. But what I love about this particular squat rack is it is solid construction. If you want to change the height here of the bar, it's super easy. You just unplug and plug it back in, and it's numbered on the side so you can keep track of what height number you're using for certain things. It's just really, really well built. And if you think about it, it's not taking up a ton of space. The footprint is actually fairly small for a lot of squat racks. Sometimes you see people having these big power racks. They take up a whole lot more space. This doesn't take up much space at all. The legs on this are super long, so it's not going to tip over on you ever. It does have a chin-up bar at the top. I don't use this very much simply because I don't have a lot of ceiling height at the top. So I'd rather use my bar outside, and we're gonna go and talk about that one here in just a second. But this squat rack has been a great investment. It's super solid, easy to use, very versatile. It's gonna last forever, I think, honestly. I can hang a TRX from it. I use that occasionally as well. I got this bench as well from the same company. They didn't come together, but the same company made the bench. I would recommend you get an adjustable bench. This one is adjustable, so the back can come up to different heights. The issue I have with my bench is it's a little high for me. and I wasn't really attuned to different bench heights when I got it. But this, it's great for my son. He's taller than me. This works perfect for him. For some exercises, for me to get my feet planted in the ground, it's a little bit high, not by much, and not enough for me not to be able to use it. But I would just, my preference now would be a little bit lower. The padding's great, it's held up great, cats have been on it. It has held up through all of that. So the bench is another thing that I think would be great for you to get, especially if you can get an adjustable one. And Craigslist is a great place to look for something like that. If you have room, a squat rack would be fantastic because you've opened up your world to a lot of different things. But with a squat rack, you want to have a bar. And I have a bar here from Rogue. This is one of the best made bars I've ever used. I love it. Anything from Rogue, the quality is really good. The price is a little bit up there, but it's well worth every penny because the quality is so good. So this is a Rogue barbell, and I have also Rogue plates. And we're gonna have Dan come over here and take a look at the Rogue plates. This was all a gift several Christmases ago. So I have a set of bumper plates, rubber plates, and I also have kind of a conglomeration of small plates. These small plates were given to me, and I got some from Craigslist, you know, just odds and ends. So the smaller plates have different brands, but the big bumper plates are all from Rogue, and the rack that's actually holding them is from Titan Fitness. And that's another company I would look towards to buy fitness equipment. They run great deals. Their prices are generally really, really good. This rack is perfect for me. I prefer this horizontal rack as opposed to vertical storage of plates. It's a lot easier for me to manipulate. But having the bar and plates now opens up bench pressing, squatting, and deadlifting. So you have a lot of options with having a bar and plates. Obviously, you need to be able to store those, but that would be a great option for you. And if you're in an apartment, obviously that's probably not a good option for you. But if you can, bar and plates is always a great thing to have as well. So I am sitting on this box, again from Rogue. I just got this box at Christmas time. This is a great addition. I have loved having it here. I use this for step-ups. I'll use this for hip thrusts. It's a much better height for me than my bench over there, which was too high, as I was talking about before. I really love having this addition here. This is a really well-built box. I will say this. My husband did have a little bit of issue putting this together. It was a bit of a pain, and he's really good with stuff like that. So if he says it's a bit of a pain, it probably is. But it's been well worth it. It wasn't so hard that he couldn't do it, but it was just a little bit more challenging than what he was expecting. Super solid. You could probably put an elephant on this box and it won't go anywhere. Super strong. Comes in different heights too. I took the lower option. I think that the next one up would have been close to the height of my bench. I didn't need something that height. I wanted something a little bit lower, and I also use this for box squats. This has been really helpful for me practicing squatting and practicing range of motion, having a lower box. So I've really enjoyed having this bench. So if you look over here, I've got a small set of kettlebells, and they're from different places as well. I believe the ones over on the first two that look really chewed up there, the smaller ones, they're from Power Systems, I believe. The back one, it might be from Power Systems as well, but it's from a different line of their kettlebells. This one's from Titan Fitness, and the back one is from Rogue. I actually like them all. These two over here, the Titan and the Rogue, are my favorites. I think they are extremely well made. I love the Rogue. The handles stay the same with all their kettlebells, just the bell's a little bit different. I think same with Titan. Really good quality. Now, I like having both kettlebells and dumbbells. I like having that option. You don't need to have that option at all. Adjustable dumbbells will probably do you just fine, where you have everything in just the one dumbbell, but I like having the variety. I like working with kettlebells now. I haven't done a lot of work with them, but I'm doing more and I'm really enjoying it. So I like having the kettlebell variety, and I love using them for goblet squats up here. Instead of holding a dumbbell like this, I'm holding the horns of the kettlebell and squeezing really tight. I like that. So I like having the option. And I like swinging, kettlebell swinging. I've been really working hard on swings, so it's nice to have the kettlebells for that as well. So I love having that. Another new addition is this big old medicine ball. This is kind of a squishy one. It's filled with sand. This is 40 pounds, so this is pretty big. I love this piece of equipment just because it's super challenging, it's bulky, it's awkward. I use it for literally squatting down, picking it up, and pretending like I'm tossing it over my shoulder. If I were doing this maybe outside or at a gym, I probably would literally toss it over my shoulder. I don't do that in my house, and I'm not gonna do it outside on concrete. It could split the ball open. So I just literally pick it up and pretend like I'm hoisting it over my shoulder. And oh my gosh, is that ever a workout? This has been fun. I just got this not too long ago, maybe a couple months ago, and have been playing around with it. And I love just having this other option with this ball. The other two balls, much lighter, can do slams with these. You can press with them. I mean, you can just hold them and squat. You can hold them and lunge. Lots of things you can do with medicine balls. They're super versatile too, and they don't take up a lot of space. Okay, so I wanted to make sure I pointed out this ball as well. This is just, people call this all kinds of things. They call it a stability ball. They call it a physio ball. They call it the big ball. Whatever you want to call it. It's the big inflatable ball that you can get anywhere. Literally, you can get these on Amazon. They're super cheap and so versatile. So many different things you can use this ball for. And one of my favorite things to use this ball for is an exercise called Shelk, supine hip extension leg curls. Super effective exercise for your hamstrings, super challenging to do. This ball is a great thing to do that with. But you can do a whole bunch of different things. You can plank on this ball. You can put your feet on this ball while you hold a plank. You can push up from this ball with your feet on the ball. Whatever you want to do, a lot of different things. This ball is just going to create some instability, which is going to be great for your core. You're going to be challenging your core. So this is definitely well worth it. And I would put this at the top of your list because it's so easy, doesn't take up a lot of space, and you can do a lot with this ball. My favorite piece of equipment, probably next to the Bowflex, is this old chin-up bar. I've had this chin-up bar for a million years. We had it in my house at the beginning over a door frame. It started pulling the door frame out. So my husband came out here and bolted it to a beam in our deck. And as you can see, it's secured completely on this beam. It's not going anywhere. It's not gonna rip anything out. The issue is I just have to come outside to do my chin-ups or whatever I'm doing. I love this bar because I can do an underhand grip and I can do a neutral grip or pull-up grip. I have all three options with this bar, which is what I love about this bar the most. The issue with it being outside is that the padding on the bar gets a little bit weathered, but other than that, have it here. I'm undercover pretty much here. Coming out here and doing chin-ups is great. I highly, highly recommend that you get a chin-up bar, one that will hopefully keep your door frame intact if you have to use it that way, and get some of those long bands that I showed you earlier. That's how you're gonna progress your chin-ups, is actually practicing with a chin-up bar with your bands. So the last thing I wanted to show you in my home gym is my bike. This is the newest addition to the Niebergall gym. Got this several months ago, maybe it's been 4 months-ish now. And this is a Bowflex C6 bike. I absolutely love this bike. I didn't go with the Peloton, not that I have anything against Peloton whatsoever. It's a lot of money, right? And I know the quality of the bike's good, all the things that come with it, great. I just didn't need all the electronics with that bike. Wasn't into all of that, so found another option, did a lot of research on bikes. Bowflex came up as one of the better options, saved us a ton of money, and we are using the Peloton app, so I'm participating in some of the Peloton classes, and I've really, really enjoyed that. We broadcast the app onto our big screen TV, and it just makes it perfect for what we want. The other thing is, all my family members are using this bike too, and that was really important to me. I had thought at one point about getting a treadmill. The whole reasoning behind getting any cardio equipment for me was this. I know that during the cold months, I'm not gonna go outside and walk. I'm just not that person. I wanted something else that I could have in my house that I could still move in some way during the cold months and not just be sitting around all the time. So I started looking at treadmills, and I thought we could put a treadmill here. It would take up a lot more space, but we could certainly fit one in here. But then my son wasn't gonna use it, my husband wasn't gonna use it, and this made way more sense, getting a bike. So I did the research. Bowflex has a great quality bike. Their customer service with us has been great, and it's holding up super, super well. It's something I use frequently now. I'll use it several times a week for a short class. I'm not into pounding the pavement on a long cardio class, but I love having the option of doing a short 15, 20 minutes of movement. I will actually, when I'm on calls, I'll sometimes come on the bike and just pedal while I am on a call, just to keep myself moving. So this has been a great option for our household. And you know, with a spin bike, you can add resistance. You can make it as hard or as easy as you want. So this was a great purchase, well worth it. If you have space for something like this, I would consider something like this as well. You can also find bikes. I know on our community Facebook marketplace, there's bikes on there all the time. There's also bikes on Craigslist, so you could find them used and probably in really good condition, save yourself even some more money. Okay, so that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the Niebergall gym. I think I showed you just about everything. I do have a couple baskets over there with some small mini bands and some little odds and ends in there, but essentially I took you through everything that I have. And just to summarize, the things I think would be a great thing to have in your gym would be adjustable dumbbells, number one, without a doubt. Bands, number two, without a doubt. From that point on, I would say get yourself a bench and get yourself a chin-up bar. Those would be my top things for you to get, and I'll add one more. The big ball in the corner. I think that would be another very easy piece of equipment for you to have. So I guess that's 5 things. Do you need all 5 things? No, but those would be my priority things for you, especially if you don't have a lot of space. You can get massive strength gains, muscle gains from having those kinds of pieces of equipment at your disposal. So I hope this has helped. If you have any questions about what I have, let me know. I will be putting some links in the description here for you on where you can get some of these pieces of equipment. But if you have any questions, please feel free to message me at any time. And thank you for being here.